And coming up tonight, all regional coordinating councils directed to submit post-exercise assessment reports as government
News tonight. Now, government is stepping up coordination ahead of tomorrow's National Sanitation Day exercise, directing all regional coordinating councils to submit situational assessment reports after the cleanup as part of their supervisory and coordinating responsibilities. Metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies have also been instructed to ensure waste collected during the exercise is transported to designated transfer stations within the shortest possible time, stressing that no refuse should be left uncollected after the exercise. Here's local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim.
Doing somebody's frontage. Everybody, it must be community based. At least if there's an outbreak, you will be at risk in your frontage or in your community or in your house before it will be coming from somewhere. So everybody clear your frontage, clear your gutter, desilt your gutter. When you are done, then you can be extending it. And the exercise starts at 6 and end at what? 1 p.m. Mandatory implementation directives, and this is also very important, to ensure an effective, coordinated, and successful nationwide exercise. Government direct as follows. 1. Regional Coordinating Councils, and that is the RCCs, headed by the regional ministers. All regional coordinating councils shall do the following. 1. They will coordinate the overall implementation of the exercise within their respective regions. 2. They will liaise with environmental service providers for the target deployment and retrieval of equipment, logistics, and operational personnel. So if you are in the Ashanti region, you must coordinate and liaise with the security service to make sure that all the 43 MMDAs in the Ashanti region are taking part. If you are from the Greater Accra, all the 29, you must make sure that there is deployment on all areas. There are logistics on all areas. And you must have a network to be able to do that supervision. Then they must ensure that all logistics are distributed equitably to participating MMDAs. That one, because when we are going on sanitation exercise every day, sometimes we all go from our houses, and the number of people who will be working, the onlookers will be more than those who are doing the actual work. All this we see.
That's the local government minister, Ahmed Ibrahim. Let's go on to the telephone lines right now and speak to my colleague, Michelle Latte, who covered that press conference for us. Michelle, what else can you tell us?
So, Kenneth, the minister has been talking about a couple of other things. I mean, providing clarification, especially for individuals who were a bit confused about which particular individuals were involved in tomorrow's exercise and also that of Saturday. So he provided a clarification. He said that government officials and private institutions, including the security agencies, also are supposed to be involved in tomorrow's exercise, of course, with the MMDAs also taking part. Then on Saturday, we are going to see residents of the various areas joining in the exercise. He has also been speaking on the need for the RCCs to involve themselves in ensuring that they provide an assessment of the exercise once it is done, and that will be submitted to government for them to be able to know for sure that they were able to come up with the results they were looking for once they've gone through that particular environmental exercise.
And Michelle, the regional coordinating councils have also been assigned supervisory and coordinating responsibilities. What exactly are they expected to do?
So based on what the local government minister said, they're looking at ensuring that all the various MMDAs receive the various logistics they would need to undertake the particular exercise they are having both on Friday and on Saturday. So they're supposed to ensure that, and also ensuring that waste is evacuated from all the areas. And I think the major problem all through the national sanitation exercises has been the fact that waste is still accumulated at the various collection points. So they've charged the MMDAs and also the RCCs to ensure that all waste is collected from these areas within the shortest possible time. And they have mentioned a couple of transfer stations that have been designated for this particular exercise. We do know that Zone Lion has also opened up 5 of their transfer stations. From the information that the local government minister gave us, some other transfer stations and landfill sites have been made operational. We can talk of that, of the one in Achimota. There's Appiah transfer station, which is located somewhere in Nsawam, and some others within the Greater Accra region. And we are ensuring that all waste is transferred to these various stations. The ones that can be recycled would also be sent to the recycling plants. Ken.
Michelle Latte, thank you very much. She's our correspondent who covered that press conference for us.
The GAT Traditional Council is also throwing its weight behind government's National Sanitation Day exercise, issuing a directive for all shops, markets and commercial entities in Accra to close during the cleanup. My colleague Ramat Bashiru joins me in studio with more from the statement. Ramat, what is the key directive from the Traditional Council?
Gemma, the council is directing that all shops, markets and commercial entities within Accra remain closed, and they gave a time for that from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Friday and on Saturday. And they also say that the closure is mandatory to allow residents to fully participate in this exercise.
Who is exempt from the closure order?
According to the statements, only emergency services and essential medical units and authorized sanitation personnel are exempted. Every other commercial activity, according to the statement, is expected to suspend operations.
We understand the Ga East Municipal Assembly has also issued a stern warning to businesses that if they fail to take part, they could face penalties under the Assembly's bylaws. What more are they saying?
Well, the Assembly says failure to participate violates the Ga East Municipal Assembly bylaws on communal labor, Section 181 of the Local Governance Act 2016 at 936, and offenders could face a 500 Ghana cedi fine or, upon conviction by a court, and a fine if not less than 200 penalty units or imprisonment.
Thank you very much, Ramat Bashiru.
The National Service Authority payroll scandal has taken a fresh turn with the arrest of some senior officials of tertiary institutions over their alleged involvement in the scheme believed to be in the region of 500 million Ghana cedis. The arrests, according to the Minister for Youth Development, Daniel Appiah, follow investigations into how ghost names were allegedly inserted into the National Service payroll through weaknesses in the validation process. Speaking on PM Express last night, Appiah revealed that the alleged rot extended beyond officials within the National Service Authority, with some senior tertiary institution staff accused of manipulating graduate data submitted for national service.
The data do not come from students. It comes from the schools. And so somebody in that office pass those numbers and then sends them to National Service. But with what they have seen, and with some of the arrests that we did when the processes were ongoing, I want to believe this year everybody will stay away. And because of the system we've introduced, even the registration system, and the Ghana card, your phone number, and all the measures we've put in place, I want to believe maybe a few attempt this year again, because maybe they would think it was a one-off thing. But we want to believe that the numbers are going to reduce drastically.
How many faculty members have you arrested so far?
I know some arrests were done here in Accra, and some too were done in the north, and then some too in the Bono region.
Do you know the total number, one estimate?
Unless I speak to the Deputy Director General, Kenneth.
But this year, faculty members were arrested for
some of this.
For some of this.
Yes.
Were there prominent institutions?
Evans, let's leave it here.
Complicit? Or how many institutions, if you may?
Evans, a lot of institutions were involved.
Some of them was University of Ghana.
I'm not mentioning any names here. I'm a lawyer.
KNUST.
I know the lights. I'm a lawyer.
No, but you can't defame an institution that's not.
I have not defamed.
Exactly. So if you say KNUST,
I have not
University of
mentioned.
Ghana,
I've not mentioned any institution.
you haven't mentioned names.
I'm saying that some tertiary institutions were involved.
Appiah added that while measures are now in place to address the payroll fraud, national service personnel without Ghana card will not receive their allowances.
If your Ghana card number and your data, when there are challenges with your registration in school and your Ghana card, the system automatically flags you. When one phone number registers more than 2 people, automatically the system flags it. Because one man, one phone. So if, for instance, we arrested somebody in the north, 1 room, 1 background, 1 phone number, registering close to 600-700 people. The system flagged.
Student for national service.
Student for national service. And then when we went in, we realized that they were all ghosts. And so the system we have in place is immediately you enter in anything that's different from your Ghana card. And we realized that there were challenges. So for instance, there are people who had different dates of birth from their Ghana card from their school records. So there is a process we go through to remedy that situation. And even that, we just don't remedy it. You must go through attestation, make sure a commissioner of oath certifies that you are the person. Go back to the school, let the school, the registrar or the vice chancellor attest to the fact that, yes, it is you. Because we saw that those were some of the things that they used to get away.
So I get a sense, once you mention Ghana card and numbers, you are paying people through their Momo numbers,
yes,
which must be linked to
your
Ghana card.
I don't want to disclose much here, but you seem to have information. But if your number is not registered to your Ghana card, you can't get paid.
Moving on, the controversial Syria government hospital is under full audit over an alleged financial malfeasance in the contract payment. The 250-bed capacity hospital, which was started some 18 years ago, has become a subject of political controversy as successive governments blame each other over the delay in operationalizing the hospital. Similar pressure has also been mounted on the current government to open the facility for use. Speaking on the issue at Parliament's Assurance Committee, the Minister for Health, Kwabena Minta-Kanda, revealed that the project has been subjected to a special audit because they have uncovered an overpayment in the contract sum.
We inherited Syria. We had no water, no access road, no electricity connected to the place. The chairman, the truth of the matter is that this facility came to Parliament for approval, and you are a senior member of Parliament. If you are going to pay anything over and above the contract sum as approved, it must come back to Parliament. The chairman, as I speak to you now, and that's why we are very careful, we have detected that there's some amount of money that has been paid over and above the contract sum that Parliament approved. And so if you're a government and you inherit such a project, you can only do due diligence. As I speak to you now, for us to even go back with a contractor to assess the progress so far has also become a problem. And so when the picture or the impression is created out there, and sometimes the politics of the day, that you have inherited something that is completed and you don't want to operationalize it, Mr. Chairman, if anybody knows the truth, it is you. That you know that the perception out there is entirely wrong. It isn't everything that we can put out there. And so we are ready, and as I speak to you now, yesterday I said same with another facility. If this project is handed over to us today, I can assure you, within the next 2 days, we can have the full complement of the health professionals to operationalize it. So there is an issue between the contractor and government that we have not been able to resolve. How do you operationalize a project when you are in that situation? Mr. Chairman, maybe you may help me. How can you operationalize a project when you are in that situation?
We can now listen to the chairman of the committee, Dominic Nitiwu, who says the facility must be operationalized once the audit is completed.
Honorable Minister, I told you, I brought it up, and I said that I know that you are going to be in hot waters because of the type of contractor you are dealing with. That's what I said. Because I dealt with him for 8 years. And so I know what it is. What I would advise Ghanaians is that if we have to complete those projects, we have to stop politicizing them. Otherwise, these projects will never be completed in the next 10 years. When a contractor believes that these projects have become political, he will squeeze you and collect money that isn't supposed to be given to him. Take it from me. These projects were they first came to Parliament in November 2008 under former President Kufuor, the 8+1. And for some reason, when the new government under President Mills and John Mahama came, they could not start the project until 6 years later. That's 2014 when these projects started. Of course, they did their part and left, and we also started. Some were able to complete, majority are not complete. The contractor came claiming that he cannot complete the project any longer because the money is finished. What do? So you have to negotiate and go and audit as you are currently doing. So once you audit and you find out that he has a case, you give him more money to complete it. But if you keep giving him money to complete a project, when you clearly know that he doesn't deserve it, you put yourself into trouble. So you have a case.
Yeah, so Mr. Chairman,
do the auditing well.
More revelation, especially on the Agenda 111 projects, because according to the Health Minister, the previous government left a total of 1 billion cedis in payment arrears behind, despite spending over 48 billion cedis on the project.
Mr. Chairman, I do not want to give specific dates, and this is the reason. One, we have identified 35. We've asked contractors to go to site. Maybe there are others who may even have to terminate and repackage. And you may have to set a new date for completion, which we haven't gotten there yet. So if I give you any date, I'll be hauled back before the committee to come and answer questions. And so with the greatest of respect.
It means that out of the 35 now has been started yet.
Some have been. You see, Mr. Chairman, if you check the 2026 budget, we said we're going to complete 10 in 2026. No, we were going to start 10 in 2026. The 10 is a subset of the 35. So we've asked the contractors, some of them, to even go back to site. So some, they are already on site, and others are yet to go back. And Mr. Chairman, we have also started, because you see, about 4.8 billion Ghana cedis was expended on Agenda 111. But unfortunately, we don't have a single one of them that could save life today.
That's the Health Minister, Kwabena Minta Akando there. Let's still stay in the House of Legislature and speak to our resident correspondent, James Aveji. James, a lot has happened in Parliament today. Tell us what we missed.
Well, Ken, still on the Assurance Committee before we go to the chamber, the local government minister also appeared before the committee, and a lot of the concerns have been about the poor sanitation situations across the country. MP for Wejagbawe, Jerry Ameshai, for instance, raised the concerns about how tricycles continue to dump refuse on the streets of Accra, and because it appears that there is no properly structured disposal of refuse or waste across the country, especially the narrative around recycling is not carried on properly by government. The minister has been given some assurance on that as well. The minister also indicated that the John Mahama government has fulfilled its campaign promise of putting all assembly members on monthly allowance. He said in 2025 alone, the government has paid a total of 107 million Ghana cedis to 9,090 assembly members across the country, and they expect to continue same in this year 2026 as well. On the floor of the House, not much has happened. They did about some 2.5 hours on the floor was the presentation of a number of reports, audit reports from the various assemblies across the country. There was a speech by, there was a statement on how government must pay close attention to the rescue operations, especially with regards to children and women in the face of disasters, all on the back of the recent Accra floods that took the lives of a number of citizens, with some still missing. And so the House has adjourned. Tomorrow there will not be a sitting on Friday because leadership and speaker have agreed to take the day off to allow members to go back to their constituencies, to mobilize their constituents to actively partake in the 2-day national cleaning exercise that is beginning on Friday and end on Saturday, Ken.
James Aveji reports to us from Parliament. Thank you very much, James. Let's now do business, and George Riafe is here with the very latest. George?
Well, Kenneth, coming up, agri sector records major turnaround in latest monthly GDP estimates as it posts almost 2% growth in April this year. And Ghana Revenue Authority locks up warehouse of China Mall over defaulting in tax payments. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials, Sinter's tanks and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal. Welcome back to business on Newsnight. Now, our agri sector recorded a major turnaround in the latest monthly GDP estimates released by the Ghana Statistical Service. It went up by almost 2% in April this year, following months of contraction. It was driven by crops and livestock. Now, the development may signal some exciting times for the agri sector, which could impact on inflation and the cost of living. Meanwhile, government statistician Dr. Hassan Dusu says that they are encouraged by these numbers when it comes to the larger economy.
Industry expanded by 4%, up from 1.1% on the back of stronger mining activity. Services grew by 6%. That is slower than the last year's 15.1%. Yet services remains the engine of the economy, led by information and communication. So what powered the 4.7% growth? Of the overall growth, services contributed nearly 62%, industry about 30%, and agriculture close to 5%. Growth has moderated but remains broad-based. Agriculture has bounced back, industry is expanding, and services continue to lead. For households, businesses and policymakers, the economy is still moving forward. The Ghana Statistical Service remains committed to providing timely, accurate, relevant, and credible statistics so that every decision for national development rests on solid evidence.
Government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Atuforsen has revealed that some 400 million Ghana cedis has been paid to the Bank of Ghana as part of requirements for a banking license for the Women's Development Bank. This should aid the operationalization of the bank by the close of this year. The minister discloses when the Vice President, Professor Nana Jinopokwajiman, paid a working visit to the Finance Ministry today.
What we now have to do is to put in place the management and the board of the bank. It's all part of the assessment that the central bank will require. So, I'll be coming to you in the coming days to get the nominations so that as soon as possible we can nominate them for them to begin their work. I'm sure because you came to visit us, the staff will agree to not to take salary this month. As their contribution.
And that is Finance Minister Dr. Atuforsen. Now, Compliance and Enforcement Unit of the Ghana Revenue Authority locked up a warehouse belonging to CM Super Plaza operators of China Mall at Spinkters Road and the Atomic Roundabout. The action follows failure of the operators to register for tax payments. Appiah Regional Manager and Enforcement and Compliance of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Joseph Anand, says they've been forced to take this action after several warnings.
We also apply human face to what we do. So we have sealed off their warehouse and allowed the retail shop to do some work. But we are giving them a week to rectify whatever challenges they have, because they are saying that it's a technical issue to get onboarded. Technical issue shouldn't take more than 6 months. We are in July. They started this business with us to be onboarded since last year.
Accra Area Manager in charge of Enforcement and Compliance at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Joseph Annan. Now, banks say they are seriously worried about reported cases of fraud in the sector. The new Bank of Ghana fraud report for last year showed that reported cases has gone up from 16,000 to more than 25,000 for last year. Even though cases in the banking sector has gone down, there were still instances of bank staff caught up in these cases. John Ewa is Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, and he tells Joy Business it is for this reason that some drastic measures have been taken to deal with the situation.
As clearly evident in the report, banks take action when fraud investigations point to the involvement of our own people, our staff, in the commission of fraud, as observed in the number of bank staff who have had their employment either terminated or summarily dismissed. And here I must state clearly that we don't tell our stories in the best possible manner, because these clear cases of actions we have taken against our own people are not made public. As mentioned earlier, we started seeing some positive traction in the fight against fraud. As a community of banks, we have a strong resolve to preserve and enhance the confidence that the banking population expresses in our services. Our collaborative approach in the fight, the systems that as community of banks we continue to invest in, coupled with fraud intelligence sharing among banks and the ongoing nationwide campaign against fraud, attest to one thing, that as a community or as an industry, we stand together in this fight.
John Ewa is Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks. And Kenneth, are you willing to pay more as crude prices are going up on the international market?
I don't know. They keep fluctuating.
Yeah.
I mean, U.S. has struck Iran again, and they are
we're seeing that
retaliating.
continuous spike. Well, on PM Express Business Edition tonight, we're trying to get some analysis or discussions about the impact of this rise in crude prices on whether consumers are willing to pay more and whether the economy is also prepared for this fresh spike and the impact on revenue going forward. I'll be engaging Dr. Robertson upon. He is the Chief Executive of the Ghana Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Ben Boache is the Executive Director of African Center for Energy Policy and an economist, Dr. Edu Osusakwadie, to get some analysis on all these issues from the pump prices to the consumer's angle and even the larger economy on PM Express Business Edition at 9 p.m. on JoyNews and all our social media platforms.
That should be a very interesting conversation. Thank you very much, George. Now, let's bring you some educational related stories this evening, because the headmaster of Zohe Evangelical Presbyterian Primary School in Yendi has been injured after two armed men allegedly stormed the school and opened fire, triggering panic among pupils and staff. According to preliminary reports cited by the Ministry of Education, the assailants entered the school premises and discharged firearms indiscriminately before allegedly assaulting the headmaster, who sustained injuries during the attack. Let's go into the telephone lines right now and speak to the press secretary of the Education Minister, Mohammed Hashmin. Mr. Hashmin, welcome to the program. Has this matter come to your notice? And as a ministry, what are you doing about it?
Well, thank you very much. The issue has come to the attention of the ministry, and the Honorable Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, has directed the attention of the Ghana Police Service into the incident. And he's calling on the general public who have information about the whereabouts of these two gun-wielding men who unleashed violence at the school, to give the police some information so that they can open investigations into the matter.
In the meantime, though, what form of assistance is the Education Ministry providing to the injured people?
Well, the injured person who happens to be the headmaster, the ministry has reached out to the headmaster, and the ministry facilitated his visitation to the hospital. My understanding is that he has since been discharged from the hospital. He's recovering, and the ministry will continue to provide him with the necessary support.
Hashmin is the press secretary of the Education Ministry. Gemma has a question for you, Hashmin. Hold on.
Hashmin, have you found out the motive for this attack?
Well, preliminary, the information we have picked is that some community members in the area try to place a container at the school land, but the authorities of the Zwai Primary School resisted that because they saw it as an encroachment into the school land. But when the information got to this armed band, they came in there violently and then opened fire, and the students and some of the teachers ran away. They rushed, and then they were able to get hold of the headmaster, and then they physically assaulted him.
Do we know whether the police have deployed their men to the school to offer protection, at least for some few days before things calm down?
The police were quickly called in, and they came in, but unfortunately, after the time they arrived, our information is that the gunmen fled the incident, but they are on a manhunt for those gunmen.
So at the moment, nobody has been arrested yet?
That is not to our attention at the moment.
Right.
Hashmin Mohammed, thank you very much. He's the press secretary of the Education Minister.
The Ghana Journalists Association has issued a 7-day ultimatum to the Central Regional Chairman of the NDC, Richard Esiedu, to publicly apologize over the alleged attack on Kaswa-based Obatampa Radio, withdraw a defamation suit against the station, and compensate it for losses incurred during its shutdown. The ultimatum follows an incident on June 25, 2026, where the Ewutu Senya East Municipal Chief Executive Seth Saba Sewono Banini and some individuals reportedly stormed the premises of the station, disrupted its operations, and locked up the facility while the program discussing internal tensions within the NDC was ongoing. Addressing a press conference in Accra, GJA President Albert Kwabena Jomfo condemned the incident as an attack on press freedom.
The facts available to the association after visiting the station point to a disturbing act of intimidation, lawlessness, and contempt for constitutional democracy. Report from staff of the station to the GJ explained that a group led by the Central Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Richard Asiedu, accompanied by the Ewutu Senya East Municipal Chief Executive. The facts available to the association after visiting the station point to a disturbing act of intimidation, lawlessness, and contempt for constitutional democracy. Report from staff of the station to the GJ explained that a group led by the Central Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Richard Asiedu, accompanied by the Ewutu Senya East Municipal Chief Executive, Mr. Seth Banini, and the constituency NADMO coordinator, Nyandi, stormed the premises of the station shortly after 10 a.m. The GJA finds this reported actions outrageous, unlawful, and utterly incompatible with democratic governance.
Mbappe, those dancing feet, it must be! Just on the field for Walid Regragui and Morocco. Great, great pride.
The Atlas Lions have a score to settle 4 years after France ended Morocco's historic World Cup dream. The two nations meet again, this time with a place in the 2026 semi-finals at stake. A win for Morocco makes them the first African country with back-to-back semi-final place in the competition's history. My colleague Collins Frimpong joins me in studio with more. Collins, is the game in Qatar last 4 years the only game played between the two?
Gemma, not at all. So they have had 6 encounters. The first one came in 1975 actually France has won 5 games or 4 games. One ended in a draw, and also the other one also ended in a win in favor of Morocco, which came on April 28, 1963. And also today's game means that which will be live on Joy Prime. It will be officiated by an Argentine referee. And any time that an Argentinian referee officiates Morocco's game, they end up winning in the FIFA World Cup. So this is what will also be happening. But before I go, FIFA has suspended England defender Gerald Kwanzaa, who for 2 matches for sending off in Mexico win. 2 matches ban is to be served at the FIFA World Cup.
I'm rooting for Morocco tonight.
France.
The last time when Argentina was playing Egypt, Gemma mentioned that she is supporting Egypt because of Africa.
I remember what happened today.
You see, did you hear the sports minister for Morocco?
I didn't hear him.
Let me tell you what he said.
What did he say?
His country is there for Morocco, not for Africa.
I haven't heard that. Have you heard that?
No, I haven't.
Then maybe you are the only one who has heard that. We are all supporting Africa this evening. Morocco all the way.
Mbappe all the way.
Morocco all the way. Thank you very much, Collins. A few of the messages you've been sending to our WhatsApp platform. This one without a name says they finished spending the money and still can't answer a simple question. Only failures behave this way when asked to account for public funds. Joy FM, thank you very much. Go to the Ministry of Food and Agric and see the rot the minister has caused. And this one says, why is it taking the health minister so long to present the facts about the inherited hospital projects? The proposed district tribunal court system of adjudication is based on biblical and godly advice. It is the same advice Jethro Moses' father-in-law gave him in the Bible. That system has served a useful purpose and is still practiced in some countries today. Everyone should Google it and see. The MPP will never support anything good for Ghanaians under the NDC, even if it comes from heaven. That is Francis from Accra. Gemma, do you have...
Capito from Adidokbo, Volta region says, for me, tomorrow's exercise is meaningless without any effort to cultivate a sense of patriotism by daily cleanup as Ghanaians. For tomorrow's general cleanup exercise is for our own good. It is a good idea that the president has initiated this. This is from Matilda Ama from Keta.
Those are some of the messages you sent to our WhatsApp platform. Thank you very much. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma. Appiah.
Don't forget to brush your teeth day and night with Pepsodent. Have a good evening.